that a person is evil from birth because he wants everything for himself, he saw that there's no implementation of these desires that bring you to happiness. You only reach happiness on the condition that if you find the right attitude to your fellow man in these desires and implement them in a manner of bestowal, and this bestowal is called Hevel, vanity. And only if you focus on Hevel Havalim in a positive, the positive aspect of it, and everything is Hevel Havalim. Only bestowal. What is bestowal? Bestowal that I want to connect with everyone in a good way to fill their desires. And they also want to fill my desires. And then in a mutual manner, like we can feed each other with a spoon. I'll feed you and you feed me. And we can never fill ourselves in this manner. This is what he found at the end of his journey? Yes. That's called Hevel Hevelim. Everything's Hevel, in the highest manner, with an exclamation point and not with 3 points, 3 dots. So now let's also verify. What did we learn? I'll tell you what I learned from his story. They said he was a wise one because he found the equation. Hang on, so I want to be smarter than him. We have 2 minutes left. What did he do in this journey? Each time he looked at a various subject in life and all the things he described, he says, it appears to me that the happiness is there. He went, invested, looks back and said it's not there. He went next. I think it's there that I'll find happiness. He went, invested, and said it's also not there. At the end of the day, he reached what you said now, that I will never be able to fill myself with happiness, but rather happiness is in that we're filling one another with happiness. Therefore, love thy neighbor as thyself. That is the key to happiness. And that's what the Torah is talking about. Great. So now I'm asking, let's say we can flow with the scenario. Let's say in another year he won't look back and say it's also not there. No, it won't pass. Why isn't there another chapter in the book? He's giving you advice how to implement it. And the implementation is for each and every person. Not implementation. He himself, he found it that you can only be filled by filling one another. He reached that happiness. Why after a year wasn't that finished as well? Why is the final conclusion, why is it different than all the other conclusions? He also thought it was that, and then a year afterward he discovered it wasn't. Because by beginning to connect with everyone, together you're building around society where we're all integrated into one, and we're all integrated in one another, and it's like an endless society, a circle that is never ending, and it's always being renewed. The general desire in filling one another, and the filling. And then we reach this life, mutual life, where I come out of myself and I feel everyone. It's like I'm separating from my animal part of me, from my living body. And I'm going to spirit that's outside of me. I'm living inside others. And then I feel in that eternal life. In that I begin to feel my life in the spiritual, virtual manner, outside myself. I go out to a completely different dimension. I rise above the feeling of life and death, time. In that I acquire this new psychological situation. That's what we need to reach. That's why it's called Hevel, Hevel Havalim.